$68 million per year, 8-figure funnel strategy. I'm going to be breaking down this for you in this video. We're going to be looking at add to landing page to offer structure and flow this brand is using to acquire hundreds of thousands of new customers every single year. The brand that we're going to be looking at is this brand BugMD. They sell these pest control solutions for the home. And before we dive into this video, just a quick refresh on the Shopify dashboard to show you that I'm qualified to speak on the topic of growing e-commerce brands so you can trust the information I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. It's one of our clients, last couple of months, $1.6 million in revenue. We help e-commerce brands scale through both paid customer acquisition and customer retention services, and we help those brands scale to 8 figures. So let's get right into the video. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is congruence. And congruence is when there is a similar theme and repetitive message throughout the whole funnel. So we have the ad right here, which is the hook. This is how I got rid of the mice in my home for less than $40. Then they're driven to an offer page, this landing page, which is first-time buyers get 68% off stocks low. So a very offer and urgency-driven headline. And the product that someone is seeing in the ad is repeated immediately in the hero. Now, I would actually probably show an image of a rodent, just again to have that congruence. As you scroll through the page, you see that this is all about rodents, right? Before spending thousands in damages from rodents, etc., your home isn't the only thing at risk from destructive rodents, right? And this page, the interesting thing about this page specifically is that you're going to see for multiple different products for this brand is running, they have the same structure of page. So they found a structure of landing page that works for them and their products and their market, and they've just repeated it, right? They've got this template that works, and they simply just repeat it, okay? So I'm going to show you this landing page in just a moment, but when we click get 68% discount, we're actually taken to a custom offer page, a custom checkout, which I'm going to show you right here. And you can't actually achieve this on Shopify. You'd have to go through like a custom builder such as Checkout Champ, I believe is the software. However, I do want to show you the offer structure, which is really the purpose here of this, because the offer structure plays a huge role in breaking one of the bottlenecks that I see e-commerce brands face a lot of the time, which is average order value. Now, average order value is a metric that is super important to be able to increase the amount you can spend to acquire a customer. Of course, it depends on like your gross margin of product and all that stuff as well. Higher AOV allows you to increase that room to spend a little bit customer, a little bit more compared to a low AOV, okay? Now, of course, you need to be looking at your conversion rate as well in unison with average order value. You can't look at those metrics, standalone. You have to look at them in unison. But if we're just looking at the offer structure right here, this is my favorite offer structure by far, and it's called a quantity break offer structure. And the reason why it's called quantity break, or another word for it is the more you buy, the more you save, is because quite literally the more quantity you purchase, the more you buy, the more you save. Okay, so you see here, this is pre-selected by the way, there's 16 pouches, but you can see here there are 4 pouches, 8 pouches, 16 and 32, right? It goes up accordingly. And for each of these, they show the price per unit. Now, this brand is doing $68 million a year, right? They've cracked this offer structure. This is an offer structure that works and something you can apply to your brand today. You can imagine how many different offer structures they've tested, different price points, different ways of presenting the offer. And I'm gonna point out some specific CRO principles, conversion optimization principles of this offer structure so that it works better for you, okay? Because just rolling this out and expecting it to work, yes, it might work for you, but you need to apply the specific nuances to this offer structure. By the way, if you're a new viewer here, my name is Jordan Hayes. I actually run a marketing agency where we help e-commerce brands scale their revenue profitably. Now, if you're running an e-commerce brand, you're doing over 100K per month in revenue, and you're facing challenges with scale, maybe your ads or your funnel is not working as well as it used to or should be, or even if it's just a lack of time and resource to put into scaling this part of the business, then that's exactly what we help with. So down below this video, there'll be a link to book a call with me. We'll have a conversation about your business, learn more about the challenges, your objectives, and see if there's a fit for us to work together. Worst case scenario, I can provide some insights as we're seeing with our other clients to help you at your current stage of your business. And as I mentioned, this is for brands who are doing at least 100K per month in revenue and they need help with scaling and obviously want to scale profitably. And in the way in which we help brands scale is we provide services across both customer acquisition and customer retention, done for you services which are completely hands-off. We take care of everything for you, and that includes media buying, CRO, landing pages, ad creative, email marketing, SMS marketing, overall growth strategy, lifetime value optimization, all that stuff, okay? So with that said, let's get back to the video. So we see here, there's a few things that are highlighted. One of the most important features you want to have in your quantity break offer structure when you present it on a page, be it a product page, be it a landing page, be it a custom checkout like this, you want to show the per unit pricing or the price per day, per bottle, per whatever, right? You want to break it down into that per unit. The reason why is because psychologically, the brain finds it hard to distinguish between the price of each, right? And knowing that, okay, we're still going to spend more overall, but each, we're getting $6.60 each per pouch compared to $9.43, right? So we're saving. And this is like a little bit of an element of price anchor. Strike-through price remains the same, so the price anchor increases with the more savings we go. But it's also, we are getting a lower price on each of those units, as I mentioned, okay? Free shipping, just another element to add, push them over the edge a little bit more. And of course, 39% off, 40%. You want to show the savings. You want to show the percentage off or the dollar off, the total dollar off. as you purchase more, okay? Now, we also have something called the magnetic middle. Usually, I would recommend having 3 options. You can also have 4. This brand is seeing success with 4. I've seen brands have 5, even 6. But really what you want to do is you want to test with 3 or 4, and you want to try and optimize towards one of the middle ones, right? Meaning it's, first of all, pre-selected, but also it's a bestseller, it's the most popular. And this is because it's very unlikely that someone is going to, cold traffic is going to come here and they're going to purchase the most expensive option, right? We can't really expect that. So what we don't want them to do is we don't want them to purchase the cheapest option, because that's going to bring down our average order value. So we want them to fall somewhere in the middle. So what we do is we make the middle option the most attractive, right? And we make the jump from the first option to the middle option not that huge of a jump, so it seems like a no-brainer offer, okay? And we also pre-select it to funnel more customers in there. We highlight it. We do everything we can to get customers to purchase that one, okay? Now, another element to this is that they also have a one-time purchase and a subscribe and save, which if you can combine a quantity break offer with a one-time and a subscribe and save option, that is a great offer structure. And we've seen this multiple brands on my channel that we've broken down. Woofs, Pet Lab Co., 9-figure brands. They do the same thing, right? They have one-time subscribe and save, and they have the quantity break offer to go with it, because that they can not only acquire subscribers, they can also acquire subscribers at an average order value that is higher than their competitors. They can spend more to acquire a customer. And as you know, as you scale your ad spend, as you spend thousands a day, tens of thousands of dollars a day, your efficiency, the diminishing returns start to really come into effect. And what you need to be doing is you need to be pulling other levers, right? You can produce tons of volume of creative. You can get better at creative, and of course that is a huge lever to pull. We've gone through that multiple times on my channel. But another thing you need to be doing is improving your average order value and conversion rate balance. And you need to be increasing that lifetime value on the back end. And a great way to do that is a subscribe and save program. It's not the only way to do it, but it is a great way to do that for sure. Now, as promised, I'm going to show you some other examples of the same ad to landing page to checkout structure, just for different products. Okay, so we see this product here for the mosquitoes. It's basically a patch you wear to repel mosquitoes. It says protection from mosquitoes without risky chemicals. And then the headline on the landing page, this mosquito force field helps keep deadly mosquitoes away from your family. So again, the congruence is here. And then finally, the offer page is the same structure as we just saw. One-time subscribe and save, quantity break offer, funneling people to the middle, the best seller, show it like it's the exact same, right? So we know it works for sure, okay? So other things that I want to talk about with this brand specifically, and something to keep in mind, whenever you're producing ad creatives, you're doing landing pages, whatever it is you want to be touching on Life Force 8 core desires. Now, Life Force 8 core desires are core human desires we have wired into us as humans. And the reason why I want to use these is because they're so powerful in terms of actually convincing someone to purchase your product, right? When you introduce the solution and you satisfy these desires and you paint a picture of the current state to the desired state using these core desires, it's a very, very powerful message, okay? So, of course, there's 8 different ones. The ones that this brand is using, not so much survival, but enjoyment of life, right? I mean, survival, you could actually say survival with mosquitoes, right? Mosquitoes are one of the deadliest animals in the world. Enjoyment of life more so for that you don't want pests in your home, right? It's very, very simple. Freedom from fear, pain, and danger, right? You might have fear of rodents, whatever it is. Comfortable living conditions as well, because you don't want those in your home. And care and protection of loved ones, because as you see, with this second landing page that we just looked at, this mosquito force, and they're using, helps keep deadly mosquitoes away from your family, right? So they're talking about protecting your family, protecting your loved ones, not so much protecting yourself, but how would you protect your family, right? And really they're appealing to parents here, that, homeowners who, they have kids, they have even animals and pets, and they want to, protect them, okay? So it's a very, very strong message. And you can see here, exposing your family to the world's deadliest animal is a risk no one should take, right? So it's a little bit of fear-based marketing here, but again, we're going after the core desire of, survival, right? And enjoyment of life and life extension, okay? So really, really important. And just a final example here, this one for fleas, just another one of their products. You can see it's the same thing. Before you buy risky flea collars and drops, unleash this gentle yet effective flea tick killing spray, right? So they're talking about a failed solution here, and then they're introducing theirs as an alternative solution for the customer, okay? Now, the interesting thing is actually, if you were to go through each of these pages, they follow the same structure. Not only that, but actually, there's a different brand that we went through a while ago on my channel. We broke down these landing pages step by step, and this brand is Happy Mammoth, and the structure of the landing page is actually very, very similar, right? Now, I would call this an inverted product page, because when you, basically it's the elements of a product page, but just inverted in a different way, right? We're presenting different elements first, and then we're presenting the offer usually further down the page. And actually, I'll link this video in the corner of this, on the top corner of this video, because I actually broke this down in detail, step by step with this document. And a lot of the same elements that you're seeing on this Happy Mammoth 8-figure landing page apply to this one on BugMD, okay? Usually some sort of hook with the hero. Then we're going into education, right? Because education is the first step before we can actually ask someone to buy. We need to educate them on a problem, right? So this is what we're doing here. And then we're introducing them to the solution, our product. After we introduce the product, we are talking about more benefits of our product, right? We're listing the benefits, we explain the benefits, but we're also going into the us versus them, right? So the cost of, exterminators versus our solution, right? The cost of dealing with rodents in your home, right? And we're going through multiple of these. And then we're talking about specifically how the products work, right? More of the science behind it, etc., etc. And then we're introducing the product again. And then finally, more CTAs to actually go and purchase the product, right? So we're seeing a very similar structure on these pages, right? Where again, we're going into education with the mosquitoes, introduction to the product, and more education, right? And then again, more benefits, right? About the cost, talking about failed solutions, us versus them, right? Showing, given different reasons. And then talking about the ingredients used, the unique mechanism, right? What makes this product, like what actually makes this product work, what makes it different to others. And then of course, reintroducing our product as a solution again, right? So again, you see the same structure that this is following. And something else that I wanted to highlight before we end this video is there are, like, apart from the 8 core desires, there are 9 learned ones, right? These are secondary to the core desires. And it's more like as time has evolved, right? These weren't really ingrained in us from like evolutionary purposes, but as time evolved, we've learned to want these things, right? And there's 9, to be informed, curiosity, etc., etc. Now, you can see how some of these are coming through in the landing page that we're just seeing as well, right? Cleanliness of body and surroundings is one for sure. Dependability and quality, convenience, efficiency, like all these different things. And you want to subtly bring these in. And these just like, they're not going to replace the core desires. You want to have these as the foundation. But these, when you add these on top, it just makes the message of the core desire so much more powerful, right? So I definitely start applying these into your marketing today. So as an action step from this, I'd actually rewatch this video. First thing you want to do is look back at the congruence between ad to landing page to offer, right? And just make sure that your funnel is congruent across the different stages, right? So if you have different ad angles, you want to have different landing pages that satisfy the congruence of those angles, just to make sure that customers know they're in the right place, right? If someone sees a specific angle in an ad, they're going to want to see the same thing repeated on the landing page as well, okay? So just keep that in mind. That's the first thing I would do. The second thing I would do is see which of the 8 core desires, the Life Force 8 core desires, you can start intertwining into your ads, and then also on your landing pages, and really start expanding it across your marketing once you have ones that work really well. And then finally, introduce a offer structure like this one, like this quantity break offer structure if you can, if your products allow for it. And testing out different structures, different quantities, different percentages off. Of course, you want to make sure that the unit economics work whenever you test an offer. Just make sure that you can actually make it work on the back end financially. But just apply both the direct response principles, but also the CRO principles that we spoke about in this video, okay? So that's it for this video. Hopefully this one was helpful in terms of understanding congruence, but also looking at a multi-8-figure funnel and just seeing what you can apply to your own brand. If you want help with things like this, if you want a team to fully handle your paid acquisition, your media buying, your ad creative, your funnels, your email marketing, any of those areas, the link below this video, you can check out my website, we can book a call, we can talk about the current challenges you're facing in your business and see if there's a fit for us to come in and help you. If there's not, we'll let you know up front, and you'll leave the call with some insights that we're seeing across our clients you can apply to your own brand immediately. All right, that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.